All right, hi guys. So today, Scott and I are back, and it is sadly our last cooking class with you. So today we are making a super easy one. It's going to be pretty quick, but we'll talk you through a couple options that you can add to it afterwards. So the first thing you're going to want to do is set your oven to 300. Okay, so this one is super simple. It only has a few ingredients. It is both gluten-free and dairy-free if you want it to be. Gluten-free right off the bat, but dairy-free if you choose to use the vegan Becel or a vegan margarine. So Scott, you are going to measure half a cup. So just to this little line of margarine. Yeah, just use a spoon. So with the margarine, you're going to want to melt it. So your options are to melt it in a microwave, or if you have a bit of free time, you can get it out ahead of time and just set it on your stove if it's already warm. We're going to toss ours in the microwave just to melt it down, and then we'll go from there. It's warm outside. I had to drive it here.
That's good, or a little low?
Yeah, that's good. So we're going to pop that right in the microwave, Scott, and you're going to do that for about 30 seconds. While your butter is melting, you can get out vanilla, quick oats, brown sugar, and baking powder. Those are the only other ingredients you're going to need, and it's going to be super simple. We're just using a regular bowl, whatever bowl works for you. And then your tray is also optional. So when I make this at home, I use not a full-size cookie sheet, but one of those smaller ones. I don't have one of those today, so I'm just going to use a pizza tray because it doesn't quite make a whole cookie sheet of it. So it's a super easy recipe to double if you want to double it. But we're just going to do that. So into the margarine, you are going to put your vanilla. So you need 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and we're just going to mix that right into right into the margarine or butter, because that way it gets mixed. So can you just mix that in there, and then you can pour that right into the bowl. Yeah, that's fine. And then it can go right into the bowl. All right, so next, Scott, you are going to add 2 cups of oats. So we have ours measured out already, so you can pour that right into here. If you want to scoop, you can. If you just want to pour, go for it. So you need 2 cups of quick oats. Don't do the biggest ones, biggest flakes. If you just have like the medium flakes, you do want quick. Going. Perfect. Okay, and then with that, you're going to do 1 cup of brown sugar. You have to keep it in 2 bags, otherwise you get lost. Yeah, that's perfect. So we will be taking, the very beginning, you need half a cup of butter. So you can either use butter or margarine. We're using our vegan Becel, so ours is dairy-free, but you can use whatever kind you want. So we will be taking these with us to the cottage. We are heading up for a week, and these are the perfect snacks to take with you. They're easy to eat on the go, eat in the car, grab something quick while you're there.
Hands are 2 feet.
So Scott is just measuring our 1 cup of brown sugar, and then it will just go right into this bowl also. So with brown sugar, you want to make sure you pat it down. Don't pat it down too hard. Just do a gentle pat. And we will not need that. So if you weren't here at the beginning, we have set our oven temperature to 300 degrees. And that is what we're going to bake it at. And it only takes about 20 minutes to bake. So it's a pretty quick recipe. All right, that's perfect, Scott. You can pour that right into our bowl. And then the last one is half a teaspoon of baking powder.
So,
That's it.
uh,
Super easy. Perfect. So then you want to mix it. So the big thing about this recipe is you want to make sure everything in the bowl is coated with the butter. So Scott is going to mix this all together. So you want to do whatever you can to minimize the loss of that butter. So if you switch it from container to container, you may need to add a little bit more butter just because you'll mix some of it. But you just want every little bit coated and all the chunks of brown sugar kind of broken up so it's not huge chunks. And then once that is done, you will put it just right onto your cookie sheet. So it's super, super easy. It's not going to look like a dough. It will look kind of crumbly. So all you want to know is that everything looks like it has a little bit of butter on it. So just make sure you break up all those brown sugar clumps. Perfect. So it's only a half teaspoon of baking powder. All right, and once that is all together, you don't need to put anything on your cookie sheet or whatever tray you're using because it's already made with margarine or butter. So you can just pour it right onto here. Oh, heavens.
that works.
Scott has not been trained in the art of pouring onto a tray. And then you just want to pat it down and spread it out so it's even. If it doesn't quite fit on your tray, just fit it to whatever size you can do. It will bubble up a little bit. It won't bubble up a huge amount, but it will bubble up a little bit just to turn it into the bars that you're making. Okay, so I'm just patting, making sure it's at least all in an area together. And then this will go into that preheated oven for 20 minutes. What you're looking for is that the edges have a little bit of a golden tinge to it, but more so you're looking that it's kind of bubbling. So it won't boil and it won't do anything special, but it will look a little bit like it is bubbling. So our tray was a bit too big for this, but I'm just gonna pat it down until it fits the best it can, and then I'll pop it in the oven. And then I'll just give you some tips on ways to jazz this up. Okay. I think I might be calling it a day. Oh, I did that. Okay, we might get it to fit the whole sheet. If you just keep pressing and patting, it will spread, so you may get it all the way covering your sheet. I'm working on that right now. I'm hoping to get it all the way to the edge. Yeah, it looks like a giant cookie right now. Wouldn't that be nice? We're almost there. Oh, Scott, there's a question. Would you just show me what the question says? What temperature? So the temperature of the oven is 300 degrees. So it's not a high temperature, very low in fact. And we have made it all the way to the edge of the sheet. And we will be popping this in the oven. All right, Scott, you ready? You can pop that in the oven. Okay, so these are a very, very basic oat bar. The nice thing about this is you can jazz these up in any way you want. So you could just keep them how they are. You could drop some chocolate chips on the top and then they're chocolate chips. You could put them in a container that's a bit deeper and you could make it a thicker bar and chop them into granola bars. You could add cranberries. You could do pretty much anything with them. So I have given you the base for this recipe and you can just change it whatever works for your family. So I won't be around the whole time while these are cooking, but I just wanted to give you a tip. When they come out of the oven, immediately take a pizza cutter and score how you want to cut them. So we usually cut them into squares. With ours being in a circle, I'll see how we want to do that. If you score them ahead of time, then when they cool down, you can just finish cutting them into the shape that they are. If you wait until they're cool to cut them, then they'll just break. So you just want to cut them or score them as soon as they come out of the oven so you're able to do that. They pack really well. When you cut them into squares, they pack really well in little containers. They look really nice on a plate. And these are the perfect option if you're looking for something to have at a party or a gathering and you know there's people with allergies. This just is different from the fruit or the grapes or the rice crackers that a lot of times you see. So that is all we have. The recipe is super, super easy. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hopefully we can come back in the fall or winter with some more programming. We'll see what life looks like then. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope your bars turn out well. So don't forget, 20 minutes is all they take. A little bit of golden on the rim, and don't forget to score them. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.